happening in local football. We were potentially supposed to be having an election in September, FKF elections, but that is not going to happen because of what happened, and that was a court case. But during the gala, the FKF gala, that brought around a lot of controversy because it was not well announced, and of course the nominees were not announced prior to the gala. There are a lot of interesting non-communication cues that were there, non-verbal cues, should I say. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, was there.
Yeah.
Now, in my thinking, that I saw that as an endorsement of the FKF regime, of the current FKF regime, getting the one CS that was not fired. And after that, we also did have the former Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Abab Namomba, in the gala, and he said that FKF are sitting on a landmine and they need to have their elections as soon as possible. And President Nick Mwendwa did announce that there are no court cases currently, and that means we're going to have an AGM soon, and when the AGM is held, then the election process commences. They're going to kickstart the election process. So, leads to my question. And we do not know whether Nick Mwendwa will vie. Should the FK, if he doesn't vie, I'm presuming maybe Barry Otieno will vie. So are you satisfied with having Barry Otieno as the candidate, as a presidential candidate in the upcoming elections?
Well, one would argue that, based on the period that he's had working under Nick Mwendwa, that he fits the bill for them. But looking at the track record that you've had and those two terms when this administration has been in charge, I think there are so many questions that we're gonna ask as a local football fan of some of the things that have gone on in their term in the administration. And so I believe there was a lot to be done, and maybe it's time another man that can come in and steer this boat in a different direction, because what you're gonna get from Barry, I would assume, is the same kind of voice, the same kind of actions that were done by the man who was in charge of him. So it wouldn't hurt Kenyan football fans to see a different name coming into the fore, and probably bringing a different kind of strategy into running Kenyan football issues. Yeah,
Teddy?
I'd want something new, something that is not from the norm that we've been used to seeing over the past 5 or 6 years or so. So I'd want someone new, a fresh blood, someone we would have high hopes on, because from this regime that we've seen in the FKF organization, we've seen that there have been so many question marks about how is this sports run, how is the football being managed. There have been so many you could say question marks. So for me, I'd want someone new. I'd want something that's it's like an onset of a new era for football, for Kenyan football as a whole. So I'd want someone new, like the apprentice for Nick Mwendwa. So that's my opinion, really.
So you guys are not convinced that even qualifying for the World Cup for the very first time doesn't warrant somebody from this regime to continue?
Well, that was a plus, and you can't deny it. But I believe that one of the things that were promised at the beginning was actually the Kenya men's team making it to the 2022 one.
Oh, so unajua they are politicians, bana.
Yeah, we know that, but that's a promise.
We were promised 5 stadiums, international stadiums, back in 2013.
I understand that, but at least if you said you're going to hold it against you, if it didn't happen, and it didn't. And so, for me, I get a lot of people, just so sad that what had been promised even from the beginning when team change came in hasn't been really implemented. And right now, when you look at the state of the Kenyan football, it's not really exciting for many people to look at and say this is a very interesting venture. We have a very good league that is running around. And so if I'm going to get another guy that is going to come in and probably maybe promise the same, but you hold on to the hope that he's gonna do something different. I would rather take that than the devil that I know.
Of course, you've mentioned that there's nothing, not too much is exciting in the Kenyan football scene. And of course, Chan will not be happening this year.
Yeah.
And Nyayo Stadium is going to be closed. The CAF inspection team that was in the country, they are happy with the AFCON 2027 preparations. That is preparing Moi Kasarani Stadium and, of course, the construction of the Talanta Sports City. They're happy with the progress. They say that's okay. But they're not happy with the condition at Nyayo Stadium. And to be specific, the playing surface. So the playing surface is going to be removed. It's not good enough to host Chan, not even AFCON, Chan. So it's going to take 4 months for the grass to be removed. Then the new carpet is put in place. Then for the grass to grow and for it to be cut. So it's going to take 4 months. Luckily for Gor Mahia and Kenya Police, they are playing in the CAF Confederations and CAF Champions League. And their preliminary matches, home matches, they will play the games in Nyayo Stadium. So that's good.
Yeah, that's positive news. We're all looking forward to teams playing back in the CAF Champions League. I know Gor Mahia stayed a while before they did so, and last year they could have. So there is this excitement that fans have to see their teams playing in a continental game. And so that's a very good gift that you're giving the fans, that you can come in actually and support us in our home pitches. So that's good news from a Police fan and a Gor Mahia fan perspective.
But unfortunately, Harambee Stars will not be playing their September AFCON 2025 qualifiers here. Their home matches in Nairobi, and that is against Zimbabwe in September. In October, it's going to be Cameroon. So
that's home advantage you've given away
again.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Malawi, their Bingu Stadium was not given CAF accreditation, so we might be looking for another new home. That's the conundrum, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay, that's a big question, because
so
I remember
where to now? Tanzania, but we'll have plenty of opponents there.
Yeah, and I don't know how true the facts were. Like before we settled for Malawi last time out, we had tried out Egypt. So
Egypt is a bit too far.
It's a bit too far.
The thing with
you're trying to make it as home as possible.
No, it's trying to cut down the costs. All right.
Yeah.
Because when you're the home team, you cater for everything.
Yes.
Transport, accommodation, you're the one who's in charge. So in Malawi, things are cheaper. When you go to Egypt, more expensive. And they're even more expensive to take the games to Doha. We talked about Doha last time, because of the Kenyan fans and all, but it's more expensive to take the games there.
Yes,
it's cheaper to take the game to Lilongwe. 2 hours flight, Ushafika. Things are not too expensive, so maneuvering is okay. The stadium is okay. The hospitality in Malawi is not too bad. So that's why the games are taken there. But now, because of what happened, then we need to take our home game somewhere else. That other somewhere else could be potentially Tanzania or Uganda, because Uganda now at least have Nambole is okay.
Yeah.
And Tanzania have 2 stadiums that can be used. So those are the other 2 options, but we do not know what FKF will decide. Yeah.
How are you looking at it? Because I listened to Nick Mwendwa, and he's somehow hopeful that you're missing this opportunity to host games. There's a bright future. Nyayo now will be properly done, and we'll have a conversation next year when you're hosting the Chan.
For sure. A lot of money has been spent on Nyayo Stadium.
Yep.
We need to finally get it done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was talk of demolishing Nyayo Stadium and building another stadium there. I don't know how far those talks have reached, because trying to put a canopy on Nyayo Stadium has proven to be a bit difficult. The engineers know why. So if we put the tiles, the playing surface is upgraded, then the 2 other changing rooms are built. The permanent position for camera 1 and 2 has been done, and the VVIP and the VVIP are also areas need to be done. So once we do that, then we'll be okay.
And the lighting also, I guess, was
The
a
lighting,
concern.
the lighting and the floodlights were a concern.
Yeah.
We need 2,000 lux to be put in place. We are at 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
So we need another 1,000 to be put there. So uzuri lakini the lights were half lit. So there's progress kidogo.
Yeah.
But I'm not too optimistic.
I understand.
I'm not too optimistic.
Yeah, because this is the same story we've been listening to for.
Yeah.
And have not shown anything. So I understand that pessimism.
Mm.
Yep.
Well,